Yo, today I'd like to address a certain topic that's been on my mind for quite a while about the current stage of streaming platforms. When it comes to streaming, most people generally use the platform Twitch. I feel like almost all of us have at least spent some time on Twitch, following our favorite streamers and creators. If you want to stream or make videos, basically your only two options are Twitch or YouTube, and both of these are arguably trash, at least in terms of their community guidelines and interaction with the individual. With the huge amount of false copyright claims, shadow bans, and demonetization of various YouTubers, mainstream media and more people are aware of the flaws in the system of YouTube. Almost every YouTuber that isn't a nursery rhymes or makeup channel has been unfairly demonetized at least once. I mean, on honesty, I couldn't name you a single YouTuber that I know about that never had any issues regarding this topic. For Twitch, less people are aware of their double standards. It's always been a more nerdy hiding place for people, at least in the earlier days, where unique and independent creators have risen to fame and success through streaming. So for the longest time, people have just been claiming that Twitch is at least not as bad as YouTube. But recently, more and more viewers became aware of the double standards of Twitch. Their system has been trashed for a long time. Most people just didn't realize it until now. Now, I'm not an expert, so I have no clue why so little people actually notice that something's up with the way Twitch operates. But maybe it's just because they didn't want to believe that every single big social media platform sucks in one way or another. But what exactly is the problem regarding Twitch? The unreasonable Twitch bans are the main reason for major public outrage. Before I did my research, I was aware that it had some problems, but I was merely an outsider, as I don't spend that much time on Twitch as a whole. Although there are definitely some streamers I enjoy watching. But after researching, I came to the conclusion that Twitch holds an immense double standard. There's a lot of stuff that in my eyes shows that there's definitely a problem with the platform. The biggest issue is the Twitch Safety Council. As soon as it got announced, people already started digging up stuff about one of its core members, the streamer FerociouslySteph, who in my opinion certainly does not deserve to be in the Twitch Council, making all these important decisions when she clearly is biased. Twitch Safety Council is supposed to consist of external experts and competent creators that have been streaming on the platform for a considerable amount of time, and thus know the platform and viewpoints of the creators really well. They're supposed to draft policies and privacy updates, as well as improve safety and moderation by introducing and developing new features on the matter. Also protect the streamer's interests and overall just work on keeping Twitch a healthy and safe platform. The whole council consists of 8 members, half of them being streamers. Now I actually don't have a problem with most of them. Caesaren, Co-Carnage and Kappa Noodle all seem like decent enough people to me. But like previously mentioned, my concern lies with FerociouslySteph. Honestly, putting her on the Safety Council is a worse decision than putting Anakin on the Jedi Council. She was literally put into the council because she was one of the first trans streamers to ever be partnered on Twitch. Which, like, if you want to celebrate an accomplishment like that, it's totally fine, but how she presents herself and through the statement she makes, she seems to think she's above everyone else, and that's including other transgender streamers.
I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, you know, I these there are some people that should be afraid of me.
One of the first things I found out about her is that she lied about reaching second place in a Heroes of the Storm tournament, where her own teammates exposed her for being trash and lying about her accomplishments, which to me was already a red flag, because I don't think a community ambassador should openly lie about stuff like that. But if it just would have been this one incident, it wouldn't bother me that much. But there's a lot more.
In my spare time, I go out to my yard. In my spare time, I go out to my yard and I prance around and I eat grass and I just munch it because it helps me feel like in tune with my dear self.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a furry and being into weird animal shit. Everyone has their own preferences, and it's completely pointless to judge someone because of that. At the end of the day, it's just her thing. Personally, I think it's definitely odd, but I won't condemn her because of it. But what I see as a problem is that she actively brings this onto her stream. Just because I don't care or I don't judge it doesn't mean you need to constantly show it on stream. There's this clip of her getting an orgasm live on stream, which is why she definitely shouldn't be on the team.
What's nice about forest creatures is that they'll sort of give you feedback on your scritches. And they're pretty sensitive to scritches. So scritches in different areas get different reactions from forest creatures.
Especially since other male streamers would have been banned for that. But she's trans, so she gets special privileges that lead to her being allowed to do that. And due to her being an ambassador, she's being promoted and recommended on the front pages, so people just tune into her stream once, and then they see her having a fucking orgasm on the stream. Like, you see where the problem lies here. Twitch's guidelines clearly state that there's supposed to be no sexual stuff on the website. But I believe having an orgasm on stream absolutely violates the rule and should get her at least kicked off the team. Her doing this leaves a bad image at the transgender community as a whole. Now, I'm not part of that community, so I can only give it a look from the outside. But ironically, especially transgender people are suffering from her behavior, because the average viewer is likely to believe that all transgender people on Twitch act like her. So a stereotype is built, when in actuality, her stream shouldn't be all about her being trans, but rather about the entertainment she could possibly provide. So to an outsider, she's just making the entire community look bad by making these controversial statements about white gamers and calling them white privileges and having orgasms on stream and the whole furry thing. It's all just a very bad image in general.
The only way to have a level playing field at the highest level of play is to have is to not have voice chat, to not have people give up their linguistic profiles. I mean, and maybe you think, you know, if you are a competitive gamer, which a lot of people have been like, Steph, you clearly know nothing about competitive play. Well, competition, by the way, y'all, competition requires you to get every advantage possible. To become the top 0.01% in any video game, you have to squeeze every amount of advantage you can possibly get. Voice chat is unfair. Period. I said a lot of people with cis white male sounding voices are here telling me that voice chat isn't a problem, and that is a fact. Y'all have voices that aren't marginalized. Oh, I'm just not cool with white supremacy, y'all. It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists.
Especially since she's an ambassador and a representative of some sort. Like, ambassadors are supposed to make Twitch seem like a better platform, but she ironically does the opposite of that, harming Twitch in the progress. And also, for the whole white privilege thing, she bases that off of people she meets in voice chat. You don't even see their faces. From my point of view, I don't think you can even prove that they are only white people to begin with. Like, I'm not having a face cam, I'm just talking. You couldn't even prove that I'm white. I might sound white and I have a white accent, but you could never 100% certainly prove that I'm white. So some of the people she claims have white privileges might not even be white, because she doesn't know them people. She only judges them off what she meets them in-game. And another aspect is in-game, you might behave very differently than in real life. Now, I don't support toxic players, but we have to take everything into account here. And I don't think what she's saying makes a lot of sense in the grand total of things. And please, now, if anyone's thinking of going onto her stream, and insulting her, or especially insulting her for being transgender, firstly, it's an asshole thing to do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being trans. No one should be treated condescending just for being transgender. And secondly, it's exactly what she wants. If tons of people insult her for being the way she is, she can take screenshots of it and claim that everyone is a blind hater and just attacks her for being transgender. So she gets to block all the actual reasonable criticism towards her, like mine, by branding it as just being hate. So if you really want to harm her, you're actually better off not insulting her in the first place. But she wants to make it seem like everyone just holds a grudge against her because she's transgender, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Another terrible aspect of Twitch is the immense double standard, not just for Steph, but also for big female Twitch streamers in general. I'll just touch on this real quick, but the important thing is streamers like Alinity or Pokimane, who are both some of the biggest female streamers on the platform. Each of them have broken the Twitch regulations several times by showing nudity on stream. Now in Pokimane's case, I have to defend her since it was an accident caused by a trolling, and after it happened she was allowed to stay on the platform, which would be fine. But then you realize that other smaller streamers get banned for 3 days or more for the exact same reason, showing accidental nudity on stream, which is bullshit because it's usually just for a maximum of like 3 seconds, and it definitely wasn't the streamer's intent. But by Twitch's guidelines, it leads to a ban. However, it's an immense double standards if they ban people because of this, but only warn Pokimane for the exact same reason. Now some people are saying the Twitch staff are just simps for her, which I would get into, but in reality she definitely should have been banned. I mean, from a logical standpoint she shouldn't have, but from judging what Twitch has done before and continues doing to this day, she definitely should have been punished, just like everyone else. In Alinity's case, she actually flashed her boobs on camera for thousands of people to see. Now you might think that surely she would instantly get banned for this, but no, she literally had to beg the Twitch staff on Twitter to ban her off the platform, because they were reluctant to going through with it, which is just completely unfair to the creators and further encourages other female streamers to do similar things. There's no way any female creators are gonna learn from these past occurrences. So the term Twitch thought is used rather regularly these days due to PewDiePie having it used in one of his past videos quite frequently. But I can say that in recent times Twitch definitely became a place for more sexually oriented content. Streamers that are wearing revealing outfits and showing butts or breasts on stream in an attempt to gain a larger following and clout. I mean, it's at least better than what Caterino tried by attempting to get with male streamers to profit from their audience, but it's still pretty pathetic. If you're aiming to use your body for profit, there are sites where you can do that. Now if you don't want to go full out and shoot like a porno, there's stuff like OnlyFans where people will pay to see revealing pictures of yourself, because that's what the site is intended to do. Now Twitch isn't meant for that. Twitch is supposed to be a chill place with unique creators interacting with their fan base, and if a streamer tries to gain clout with their body, they should be warned accordingly. But what it does do is throw a bad light at, in quote, normal Twitch streamers who are just gaming or chatting relaxingly, because people are gonna accept the same kind of treatment from them as well. There have been hundreds of instances of people writing disgusting stuff in their chats when all these female streamers wanna do is just have a relaxed stream, which makes it very hard to stream as a woman and not at least encounter some kind of sexism at almost a daily basis. If you really want to abuse your body and the so-called simps for money, at least be honest about yourself. You're just morally in the wrong, at least in my opinion. Additionally, there's also the whole DrDisrespect thing, where apparently he has not been notified about the reason why he was permanently banned off Twitch. However, not too much isn't clear about the situation, and I don't think that much will ever come out. But DrDisrespect decided to switch to YouTube since he got banned off the platform, and that's what a lot of people have been doing. So in general, these reasons resulted in many people not enjoying Twitch as much as they used to. But the problem I see with YouTube as a streaming platform is that it's not supposed to be a big streaming platform, and I think you can very clearly see this. There's way more trolls in YouTube streams than there's ever in the most toxic Twitch streams. And also just the chat in general, I think it looks so terrible. I feel like YouTube isn't just cut out for that streaming aspects. There are certainly creators that can pull it off well, but Twitch is still the most used platform to this day, although there are so many flaws in their system. Now actually I wanna cover another platform as well that I found out about through my favorite streamer at that time, and I feel like it's also an interesting alternative. So when a new platform with the name Trovo arose, a small percentage of creators transferred over to it. It had a lot of features similar to those of Twitch, like cheers, subs, and emotes, and the community was a lot smaller, and thus it felt like the Wild West of streaming. I myself found out about the platform through my favorite streamer deciding to partly stream on it. It had its issues as it was barely available in my country, but first impressions were good and very attractive for middle-sized streamers. Platforms like Mixer lured the biggest streamers with massive contracts to their website. It had an unknown side effect though. All of the viewers tuned in to see their favorite streamers, so smaller sized streamers had little to no chance of gaining any new followers during that period of time. So essentially the two big streamers, Ninja and Shroud, carried the entire platform on their back. There was barely anyone sticking to smaller creators, so it just didn't pay off for creators with smaller audiences to try and transfer to Mixer. Trovo handled this very differently. They offered contracts paying the creators in watch time instead of subs, views or cheers. Especially for streamers with a rather small established audience, this switch might pay off, not just money-wise, but they had better chances to be displayed on the front page of the website. While in Twitch they were rather difficult to find, which led to there being a decent middle class on Trovo, and for a while it seemed like it had a bright future, especially since their staff seemed rather competent and were quick to respond regarding issues, at least according to some streamers. But the platform experienced a quick downfall when they decided that just chatting streamers would not be able to become a Trovo partner, and they also doubled watch time, which looking back at was a terrible decision. It led to most of the streamers quitting the website for good. All of the just chatting streamers who had invested time and effort into Trovo were now left with nothing, and everyone had to double their watch hours, which was incredibly hard for most smaller streamers, because there weren't many people on the site to begin with. So what started as a promising community and alternative quickly became a failure, with most creators leaving the platform after just a few weeks. Everything left at Trovo are mobile gamers and people with a maximum of 30 views. Whenever I checked Trovo recently, the biggest streamer on there never had over 40 views, so it's safe to say the platform is about that if no miracle happens. So now, essentially people are stuck with Twitch. So in my opinion, regarding all of those points, I feel like Twitch is still an incredibly unique platform, but something clearly needs to change with their guidelines, or at least the way they enforce them. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I have been inactive for very long, but I really just wanted to get this out. I have some very strong opinions about the topic, and I hope it was somewhat decent for you.